Hey guys, what's up? So we're back with another Sonic video. So I've been seeing a lot on social media about Matt Walsh's, I believe that's his name, Sonic the review. And he says the movie that broke him as a father. If he wants a movie that breaks you as a person, go watch Alvin and the Chipwrecked. Mostly a joke, but horrible movie. And I've been seeing so much, I just have to know how bad this review is.
Man becomes a father. He's called upon to make sacrifices for his family. And often these will be small sacrifices. Sometimes they'll be larger, though, more significant. And on even rarer occasion, the duties of fatherhood will require him to make the kind of sacrifice that up to that moment he would have thought himself incapable of
Hmm.
making.
Okay.
These are the moments
Well,
when a
yeah,
man
but
must become a
you're gonna
hero,
be really
when he
cringe right
must lay
now.
his
Say it's
very
Sonic 3,
life on the line.
aren't you?
And this may take many forms.
Predictable.
Perhaps he's rushing into a burning building to rescue his child from the fire. Perhaps
That
he
is a very
has to
respectable
pull
thing.
his loved one away from the path of a speeding train because they've been tied to the tracks by bandits or whatever. Or most harrowing of all, he may be compelled by his paternal obligations to go to a movie theater and watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
We're almost a minute in. That is such a cringe opening. He's done nothing. He's done nothing so far, basically. He hasn't even really talked about the movie yet.
A
This
man
10
can
minutes, I'm going to
can
suspect this 10 minutes is just so he can get that 10-minute mark on the, for
would, of
monetization.
course, much prefer to be engulfed in flames or hit by a speeding train, but that would be the coward's way out. He endures Sonic the Hedgehog
Dude,
3 for the sake of his children,
blah, blah, blah,
whom
blah,
he
blah.
loves.
Yeah, get to the
And
movie.
over Christmas break, that is precisely the situation that I found myself in.
It's
I
fun.
completely wrecked my whole family in Monopoly 2 nights in a row. Wasn't even close.
Do you really need to mention that this is not relevant to the review?
Before I offer my brief review of this thing that I hesitate to call a film, I
Oh,
must
screw
first
you.
acknowledge, in all fairness, I, I never saw Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's possible that one cannot fully appreciate the narrative complexities of
Then why are you reviewing them? Why are you reviewing them if you haven't seen the first two movies?
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 without having seen the first two chapters in this epic Hedgehog saga. This is the kind of movie where Jim Carrey plays two characters. One is the evil villain, and the other is the evil villain's evil grandfather in old age makeup. And the two break into an impromptu dance routine
I
that
honestly hate
makes
that
no
dance
narrative
scene.
sense
I
but
will
lasts
agree.
approximately 87 minutes.
Okay, over exaggerating. I think it's like 3 or 4 minutes, which I think that scene was too long. Didn't need to be in the movie. But I think it's supposed to show that Eggman's starting to trust his his grandfather. But whatever.
It's the kind of movie where those same characters before the dance
Bonding.
routine actually look directly into the camera and explain that they're being played by the same actor.
Wow, because it's supposed to be
I
funny.
must assume, and I think assume safely, that there is nothing in the other two films that would make this one any less obnoxious or horrifically stupid. I'm not going to bother
No, movie two has a ton of plot holes. I don't like movie two. I like one and three though.
explaining the plot of this film in any detail. I wasn't tracking it that closely, to be honest.
Oh, so you're reviewing a movie you weren't paying attention to. So I guess we can end it there, can't we? Well, thank you guys for watching this video. No, we're going to continue this stupid review.
I was mostly fighting to stay awake. This is the kind of movie that bores you to the point of putting you to sleep, but also annoys you at
If
the
this
same time.
bores you, you
It's
have a
kind of an odd
problem, man. There's so
combination
much action.
to be both sleepy. I can only tell you that Sonic is the good hedgehog, which you may know.
Yeah.
There's also an evil hedgehog voiced by Keanu Reeves, who, and I like Keanu Reeves, by the way, but like every other voice actor in this film and most voice actors in most children's films that have been made for the past 20 years, he has no talent as a voice.
Okay, first of all, a lot of them have talent, and Keanu does have some rough lines, I will agree. But overall, he fits the character. You don't know how Shadow sounds. In general, that is a general really good Shadow voice.
Voice actor and doesn't understand how to act with just your voice. But he's famous, so that's good enough, I suppose.
Why
So
is famous
Sonic
in
has
the
to
movie?
stop
Yeah.
the evil hedgehog and his evil cohorts, that's the Jim Carrey dancing duo I mentioned earlier, from blowing up the world with a big laser. And this has been the evil plan of every evil villain in every blockbuster franchise.
It's also from the game that they adapted, but you don't play the games and you don't know anything about it. So you're just criticizing a movie
Film
you didn't
for the
even
past
watch,
three
really. You
decades.
weren't paying
It's a
attention.
formula that this movie is not interested in deviating from. This is not the sort of movie that deviates from formulas. Now, if you're wondering why the evil hedgehog and the two Jim Carreys want to explode the world and murder 8 billion people in a cosmic blast that they will also die in,
See, but
it's because the
he's
older
neglecting that Eggman doesn't know about that part.
Jim Carrey's granddaughter, I think,
Yes,
was
granddaughter.
killed,
You think you weren't
and
paying attention?
now he wants to commit murder suicide because life isn't worth living. Like
He's
that's
a
the deal.
crazy man. That's the point.
That's in the movie.
That's the point. He's a crazy man.
He actually declares his suicidal intention as well. Now, if
Yeah.
that seems like weirdly bleak and dark for a kids' movie where the characters bust out impromptu dance routines and on, it doesn't try to smooth over these tonal transitions with good
There
writing
is some
or
part near the end with
performances.
bad tonal
The writing is
transitions. I will agree.
just terrible, and the performances are atrocious across the board.
Disagree completely.
Instead, it just flings it all against the wall haphazardly.
How much longer do I have to suffer
These are
this?
all bullet points that the movie studio knows it has to hit. Because this movie, again, like so many kids' movies these days, is not the fulfillment of anyone's creative vision. It is just the product of a corporate algorithm.
It has so much references to games and stuff. This is the most. That's the one. This is the one that's most like the games. This one has a lot more love put into it. Tyson Hess worked really hard on this. He tried to. Believe he talked to Jeff Fowler. He was like, "I need to be a part of the soundtrack," and that's how we have all the game stuff. Some people cared.
It is loud and ugly and obnoxious and disjointed because nobody who made the film actually cared about making a good film. And they have absolutely no respect for their audience.
They do, because this is the one that most people love and the one that's the most like the games. So shut up, you person who didn't even really watch the movie.
I mean, this movie could have been made by AI. We are at a point.
Oh,
If they
screw
start
you.
making movies with AI, we would not know the difference because they've effectively been doing that for 20
We
years.
know what's been in this movie.
Now, you might
It's not
respond
AI.
here,
It can't be made
as
with
many
AI.
people on Twitter did after I gave a very brief review of this film in a tweet on the site a few days ago. You might respond that, well, this movie isn't for me. It's for kids. Well, first of all, tell that to the other people in the theater with us. I can tell you that my kids were by far the youngest people in attendance. There were multiple groups of adults.
That's because fans of the series for years, decades.
Just adults, no kids. Whole groups of them who bought tickets to Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yes, because we want to see
Also,
our
tell it
childhood
to the
and
multiple
stuff.
grown adults who got angry at me on Twitter for not liking the movie. The funny thing is that a lot of those same people say, well, it's not for you, it's for kids. Why are you getting so upset about it then? Why are you tearfully defending a movie that you claim is not for you either?
Honestly, kind of a good point there. The people who use that as an argument for the movie aren't really. It doesn't really make. It's not the best argument they could have. And he goes on for a little while, so I'm just going to skip ahead a bit.
Tractors. So I agree that these kinds of movies are for kids, but I am not the one who needs to be told that. Okay? Second, and this is most important.
So you're saying that adults can't enjoy these movies.
And it shouldn't need to be explained, but really it does. And that's really my only point here. It is possible to make a children's movie that, although it's for children, is still a good, high quality.
It was a good high quality movie, though.
I don't hate children's movies just because they're for children. Quite the opposite. As a father of 6, I've watched many, many children's movies. Okay, I've watched way more than the average person because I have so many kids. And I greatly appreciate the good ones. A few nights ago, just as an example, we watched the movie Iron Giant with my kids.
And that's
an animated children's film. It's also well written, beautifully, with no ads. You should go to dailywire.com and use.
Okay. So he yapped a lot, and he didn't even really watch the movie. Like he said he wasn't really even paying attention. He didn't even see the first two, so he can't even properly comment on it. And he bashed adults who wanted to see this movie. He said it was generic, a Hollywood action movie. You didn't see the dang. You don't even know like it has so much love from the games incorporated in it. And Tyson Hess, who worked really hard to try to get those songs in.